Welcome back to the channel. We're back on our commander deck profile today with Amy Rose. For 2, a red and a white, we get Dri with haste, and whenever she attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment to her, and then another target attacking creature gets +X+0, where X is Amy Rose's power. So we have plenty of equipment with high equip costs that we don't really care about the equip cost for, so we're just going to get them onto Amy there for free. And we're going to need at least one other creature attacking. So we have a lot of the things that do Living Weapon or for Mirrodin. I don't think actually we put any drop select cards in here, but there are some good ones out there if you guys do decide to run those there yourself. But that's the general overview of the deck. We're going to card by card in a second. If you guys do like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you can stay tuned for future ones. Starting us off though, we have Arcane Signet, which will tap for 1 mana of any color. Super helpful for us. Always need some additional mana. Argentum Armor, equip creatures +6/+6, giving one of your creatures +9/+0 when Amy attacks with that equipped her. And when an equipped creature attacks, destroy target permanent. You know, really, Stat Boost is what we care about. Normally it's equip 6, but we don't care about that. Batterbone, Living Weapon, so you get that free extra creature. Equip creatures +1/+1, Vigilance and Lifelink. Equip 5, but once again, if that creature dies, we'll just equip it onto Amy for free. It's not going to matter. Also, Vigilance and Lifelink is super helpful, but only thing is, Vigilance works so that like when we attack, we don't tap, but Amy's already tapped and attacking when you equip this onto her. If you use her own ability for that. Batter Skull, Living Weapon, equip creatures +4/+4 and has Vigilance and Lifelink. That's a good ability we'll get both bonuses off of, giving a creature +7/+0 with Amy's secondary ability. And you pay 3 mana to return this to its owner's hand as well, and it's equip 5, but once again, don't care about that. Bitterhorn, Niece's Animus, equip creatures +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Once again, this is another one where we don't really care about equipping it onto Amy, because it's when it attacks, so she's already attacking and only checks for that ability once. It won't get you that if you equip it onto her for that ability. So it's more so like that Living Weapon ability so that you can get the additional one off of Amy Rose's secondary ability. Blackblade Reforged, equip creatures +1/+1 for each land you control. With Amy being a 4/4, this being a 2, we get this onto her for free, making her into an 8/8 if we didn't use any mana from like a land to cast her. Not land, an artifact to cast her. And that's already a +7/0 onto another creature we have. Bladehold Warwhip, equip abilities cost 1 less to activate, which that's not really what we care about. It's a double strike. And the 4 Mirrodin that we're getting off of this in order to get that additional attacking creature, that additional double strike, that additional damage to get the damage in with Amy. Bloodforged Battle Axe, equip creatures +2/+0 when it deals combat damage to a player. Create a token as a copy of this card. It's just a pretty good stat boost there for Amy, being a 5/3 at that point, giving something else +5/+0. Buster Sword, equip creatures +3/+2. When equip creature, eventually if you get the second Bloodforged Battle Axe, that'll be +7/+0. Buster Sword though, +3/+2. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage without paying its mana cost. That could be quite a high spell, especially if you already have the Bloodforged Battle Axe or something on Amy. Because that's +5, that's an 8 cost spell you're getting for free. Which, we may have a few things in here. Commander's Plate, 1 mana, +3/+3, protection from each color. It's not your commander's color identity. Equip Commander for 3, equip 5. But once again, equip it for free. Since it's as you declare an attack, you get this, and then your opponent would have to declare their blockers. So they wouldn't be able to block with the creatures of those colors, aka black, blue, green. Commander Sphere for some additional mana. Dancer's Chakrams, job select, so another token there. Another thing to power up with Amy's ability. Equip creatures +2/+2 and has lifelink. Other commanders you can control get +2/+2 and lifelink as well. And is a performer in addition to its other types. Normally costs equip 3, but maybe we'll equip it onto Amy, but we're going to tend to have it on a job select creature in order to have a 4/4, and then Amy being a 5/5 anyway, because you don't need to have this on her, because it also benefits her anyway. Dragonwing Glider for Mirrodin, so you get that token. Equip creatures +2/+2, flying and haste. allowing us to actually have a way to deal damage without, having to worry about your opponent blocking it, unless they have a flyer. But we have a little bit of evasion at least. Excalibur, Sword of Eden. Spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of historic permanency control. With running 38 artifacts in this deck total, we're going to probably have enough to get this for free at a certain point. But equipped creature is plus 10 plus year until and vigilance. So if you already had this on Amy, plus 13, and let's say we gave it the Buster Sword, that's plus 6, plus 13, giving her a 16, 5. And then, your opponent just blocks it 1/1. We give another creature the plus 16 plus 0. Valor Stone for some mana. Glimmer Lens, we get the 4 Mirrored in token. And whenever a creature and at least one or more creatures attack, draw a card, aka that creature that you put this on, and Amy herself. Hammer of Nazan. Whenever this or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach equipment to target creature you control, aka why equip only one thing onto Amy? Let's equip all 38. Equip creatures plus 2 plus 0 and has indestructible, and make it a little bit harder to remove with that. Helm of the Host. Second copy of Amy isn't legendary. This way we can then get the what's it called? Plus X, and it says 2X. Hex Gold Halberd gets first strike trample, meaning that we have a way to deal damage. We'll have a lot of power, but we want to make sure we actually deal some damage. Hexplate Wallbreaker, 5 mana for the 4 Mirda. Equipped creature is plus 2, a little bit stat boost there for Amy. And whenever a equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat, there's an additional combat phase. We like to take additional combat phases because the plus X plus 0 is until end of turn, so that sticks around for the second combat phase. We don't have really any other second combat phases because we had to focus so much on equipments. But you could take out some equipment, put in some extra combat spells if you want. So that is quite beneficial with Amy. Caliber Complete, Living Weapon, Indestructible, Equipped Creatures +5/+5, Trample, Indestructible, Haste. Deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. Means so it doesn't get your opponent's graveyard abilities, gets you a second creature with the Living Weapon ability, Indestructible. All fun stuff there. Leyline Axe, get it for free if it's in your opening hand. Equip creatures +1/+1, double strike trample. Could be a lot of damage on your opponent you're getting off with that, especially if you have something with plus X plus 0 with Amy. Lightning Grease for the haste and that protection. Doesn't matter what creature you put on. You can put on Amy, but she already has haste. The protection is still nice. Lockdown Warhammer to give Amy that +3/+0, which will also give another creature +6/+0. Trample Lifelink as well to deal damage. Machinus Arsenal, another job select to get that token. Have another creature to attack with. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact or artificer you control. So that could add up to quite a bit, especially if we have all 38 equipments on the board. That'll be +76/+76. So, plus 79 with Amy. Masterwork Ingenuity. Or we get a second one and we get a +152/+152 with Masterwork Ingenuity on the board. Masterwork Ingenuity just becomes a copy of the target equipment. Mitchell Quote. Flash, Indestructible. Enters the battlefield, attaches to the target legendary creature you control, gains Indestructible. We want to make sure Amy could stick around. I mean, she has haste, so you still don't have to worry about her getting destroyed too much. But still, want to keep her around more rather than less. Nettle Cyst, Living Weapon to get that token. It's +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. So that +76/+76, +152/152 is now to +190/190. With just based upon the amount of artifacts you control if you have all 38. Shadow Sphere. Equipped creature +1/+1 has trample, lifelink, way to deal out damage, and also permanents your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible to end the turn if you pay an additional mana. Soul Ring for some additional mana. Sunforger, +4/+0. We like the bonuses towards attack mostly. We like seeing it. And also get an unattached for 2. Search the library for red or white. Insert a sorcerer with Seam C4 or less, aka your generous gift, your Path to Exiles, your cast warps. Anyway, cast without paying its mana cost. Shuffle your library. Swiftfoot Boots for that protection and haste. Sword of Forged Frontier, +2/+2, protection from running green. Allow us that little bit of protection there on Amy, allowing her to deal damage. When it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Play them this turn. You may play an additional land this turn as well. Additional land tends to be helpful. Speaking of which, Sword the Animus for additional land as well. Talisman Conviction is for some additional mana. Aether Spark, It's a legendary artifact planeswalker. As long as it's attached to a creature, it can't be targeted by stuff. Well, your opponent can't deal combat damage to it. But eventually, if you get this onto Amy, she becomes a 4/4, and then you could have this go up to 8, -5, draw 2 cards. A lot of damage there. Reaver Cleaver, +1/+1 trample. It deals combat damage to a player. Get that many treasure tokens. It could be quite a bit, especially if you're getting a +X+0 with Amy. Duran Power Suit, +1/+1 for each equipment. It's quite a few equipments that we have here. And yeah, a lot of damage, plus a lot of damage onto a second creature. Onto our creatures, we have Akiri, Fearless Voyager. Whenever you attack a player with one or more equipped creatures, draw a card. It's going to be Amy. But she'll have to equip something before you attack, because it's whenever you attack. So you have to, once again, only checks it once. Whenever you unattach an equipment from a creature you control, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. Tap that creature, it's indestructible to end the turn, so it can't block, but at least it protects Amy for a little bit longer. Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist. Why only attach one thing to Amy when we could attach everything to her? And also this attack equips stuff before she swings in, so you could do the thing before she swings. Brenor, Battlehammer. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. More power onto Amy, which means more power onto a second creature as well. You may pay 0 rather than paying the first equip's ability each turn. Diantha for a little bit of cost reduction on your artifacts. Freon, Wild Rose Warrior. Equipped creatures have haste as well, and you get extra copies of all your equipments. So you have that plus Arden. Oof. Jorkadine. Trample, whenever Jorkadine attacks, it gets +X/+X. A turn where X is the number of equipped creatures you control, aka with all these ones with living weapon for Mirrodin, it cares about the amount of creatures. And then if its power is 4 or greater, draw a card. A little bit of draw power is always nice. Lizard Blades can't attach that with Amy's ability, but you could reconfigure it to give her double strike. Nahiri, Forged in Fury, affinity for equipment, making it basically cost 2 to cast for most times. And whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells this way without paying their mana cost. Free Excalibur would be nice. Or, probably just a Bloodforged Battle Axe. Pure Steel Paladin. In order to equip our stuff for free, like our Colossus Hammer. Did I not put Colossus Hammer in here? I should have put Colossus Hammer in here. I just realized it's not in here. Whoops. Rayav, Master Smith, equipped creatures get double strike. Once again, another way to deal even more damage there with Amy. So we're going to win with commander damage at some point. SRAM, Senior Officer, draw a card off all the equipments that you got. And Stoneforge Mystic to get an equipment out of your deck and into your hand. And then pay 2 to get it out of your hand and into the battlefield for free. Let's scroll on over to the second half of the deck. Oh, that's right. I didn't put lands on this one quite yet. Forge Anew for an additional Forge Anew enters the battlefield. Turn target equipment from your graveyard to the battlefield. We'd like to see that because if we got Vandal Blast, we need a way to bring them back. As long as your turn, you may activate equip abilities anytime you would cast an instant, aka your opponent may think they're blocking, but they're not actually. Well, not actually blocking well enough, I should say. You may pay 0 rather than the equip cost of the first equip ability cast each turn as well. So it's a free Colossus Hammer. Get rid of something for Colossus Hammer. Your choice. Cigar's Aid, same thing with the Flash ability. Boros Charm for either removal or protection. Chaos Warp for either removal or giving your opponent the best thing out of their deck. Dispatch for a little bit of removal. Generous Gift removal. Path to Exile, Stroke to Midnight. Source Splashers, all removal. Inventory management can't be counted because it's split second. And for each ordered equipment you control, attach to the creature you control. Once again, why attach only one thing to Amy when you attach everything to it? Because then it'll just power up everything else you got. Blasphemous Act for 7 board wipes. Gold Warden's Gambit. Affinity for equipment, aka only costs 2 to cast. Create 5 2/2 Red Warrior Rebel tokens. And for each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment to it, making it so you have not just one strong creature, but 5. Open the armory and Steel Shaper's Gift to search out your best equipments. And then Reckless Crew, create X21 Berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles you control plus the number of equipment you control. For each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment to it. AKA, each equipment now has a person that's attached to. Then you can reattach to Amy potentially. And then, if it was the Colossus Hammer, it'll get the +1 and gets +10/+0. But that's the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great rest of the day.